Hello and welcome student in standard 5th. Subject How we came to be. Environment Studies Part 2. Today we will learn chapter number 9 Settled Life and Urban Civilization Module 1. Let's learn the learning objectives of Module 1. So student, in this module, we are going to learn about use of metals, pots made on the potter's wheel, how industrial area developed, trade and transport. So let's learn one by one all of this in our module 1. Use of metals. You may be wondering about the first metal that which human used. You know, in Europe museum it had large collection of prehistoric and antiques objects. As from history, we learn a scholar Christian Thompson introduced a method of 3 stages such as Stone Age, Copper Age and Iron Age. Also found tools and equipments according to their age. So let's study all of this according to the age and a scholar and also about a scholar Christian Thompson. The division of Stone Age in 3 stages. The Stone Age lasted roughly 3.4 million years from 30,000 BCE to about 3000 BCE and ended with the advent of metal work. Paleolithic period or Old Age is from 30,000 BCE to 10,000 BCE. Mesolithic period or Middle Stone Age from 10,000 BCE to 8,000 BCE. Neolithic period or New Stone Age 8,000 BCE to 3,000 BCE. Let's learn about a scholar Christian Thompson. Christian Jurgensen Thompson was born on December 29, 1788. Copenhagen, Den died on May 21, 1865. Copenhagen, Danish. He was an archaeologist who deserves major credit for developing the three-part system of prehistory, naming the Stone, Bronze, and Iron Ages for the successive stages of man's technological development in Europe. You can see the image of our scholar on the screen, Christian Thompson. The scholar Thompson also says that stone tools were the earliest tool, after which Copper Age began and copper-made articles were followed was next. Last, it was followed by the period of iron tools and articles. So it was said 3 periods were named as Stone Age, Copper Age and Iron Age respectively. From all this above evidence, we believe that copper was the first metal to come into use. The scholar Thomson Christian also mentioned that gold was the first metal in use, but because of its softness, it was not used for making tools and implements. So human discovered another metal which could be used for tools, and that was the copper. So the period where copper came into use is known as Copper Age. Do you know, student, to make it easy to turn the pot while shaping it, a rotating plank was probably used at first. The pot was shaped with one hand. You can see in the picture, while the other was used to turn the plank. It is possible that the potter's wheel originated in the efforts to modify the rotating plank. Till recent time, tribal women in the northern eastern regions of our country shaped the pots by using a rotating plank. A pointed quartz pebble fixed at the bottom of the potter's wheel. This pebble is known as a pivot. When the potter's wheel is put in motion, it is balanced on this pivot and revolves with a great speed. Student, let's learn more about the rotating plant. The invention of a simple wooden turntable probably occurred before 3000 BC. Ancient Egyptian tomb paintings during the next 2000 years or more depict potters at work using a number of different versions of turntable made from wood and stone. This drawing shows in more details the structure of turntable, which were devised. You can see in the picture how the man is turning the turntable. Both types of turntable appear in early Egyptian wall paintings. By this time, potter vessels could now be coiled and smoothed very evenly and made quite quickly. The little limestone statue of an ancient Egyptian potter was made about 2000 BC. It helps us to see how the potter's wheel evolved from a simple turntable pulled around with the hand. The technique was at first just a faster method of cooling. Village potters still use this method in some part of the world. The earliest turntable were probably not very free turning, but gradually potters learned how to make the shaft pivot bearing with less friction. You can see in the above picture. Both improvement increase the speed, momentum and power of the wheel. Eventually, it would become possible for a faster and heavier turntable potter's wheel to be used for throwing a pot. Let's learn about the invention of the wheel. The first wheels were not used for transportation. Evidence indicate they were created to serve as potter's wheel around 3500 BC. In Mesopotamia, 300 years before, someone figured out to use them for chariots. The ancient Greeks invented Western philosophy and the wheelbarrow. Let's learn more about the wheel. Discovery of wheel. Before invention of wheel, early men has to walk on foot. They would move to walking distance area only. They generally use tame animals for riding to covering longer distance with very less goods. They lived in small groups in different places. Before invention of wheel, these small groups would remain isolated from other groups. Later, they started to carry their burden on flat pieces of wood. As we know that pots were made on potter's wheel and also learn how wheel was discovered in our previous slide. Copper Age was the age of many new inventions and rapid changes. From history, it was agreed the wheel was first used by potters. After potter, the wheel was also used in carts and chariots. In image, you can see different types of wheels. Let's learn about trade and transport. Because of using wheels, potter can make pots in large number, means in large quantity. In this age, people started making symmetrical and colorful pots with beautiful design on it. To help each potter and craftsman begin to live close to each other. In the village settlement, means because of the raw materials, they started living close to each other to manage the work more easily. In this way, industrial area came forward. Skilled craftsmen had the settlements and center of productions. Means they were in need of both, means raw material and the skilled man. So for that reason, both they started living too close to each other, which were helpful to each other. During this age, many industries grew where they could get raw material very easily. Raw material available in plenty. So the people of this age started doing trade, means started doing business. Because of trade convenient, village expanded rapidly. Means as they start doing the business, they start expand. The village was expanded. The scale of production also increased, so trade too expanded. So human made changes in old system of transport. It was noticed in this period vehicles like carts and chariots were first brought into use. Wheeled cart and chariot were first used in Mesopotamia. Harappan civilization was the early civilization who used wheeled toy carts. You can see in the image. Let's do a quick recap of our module 1. So, in this module, we learn about a brief introduction of our scholar Kristen Thompson, and it's introduced a method of 3 stages. Copper tools were after the Stone Age. A scholar says gold was first metal in use. To give pot proper shape, human learned rotating plank. Invention of wheels. People started making symmetrical and colorful and designs on pots. Man changed old system of transport. So all this we learn in our module 1. Let's do the evaluation part of our Module 1. Question number 1. Fill in the blanks. First, copper tools and other copper objects. Dash age. Copper age. Second, in Europe had large collection of prehistoric artifacts and antique objects. Answer, museum. The dash was first used by potters. Answer, will. Second, question number 2, write true or false. First, men learn the technique of melting metals and using alloy to make metals. Answer, true. Second, a scholar named Christian Thomas introduced method of classifying prehistoric artifact. Answer, false. Third, wheel was used by Iron Age first. Answer, false. Question number 3. Answer the following. Who introduced the system of classifying the artifacts? Answer, a scholar named Christian Thompson introduced the method for classifying the artifact. Second, use of metals. Write short note on it. Answer. Before metals could be discovered, ancient man made tools and implements using microliths. In some comparison to metal, stone tools were not so strong and durable. Therefore, men preferred metal. Metal tools were easier and faster to make. Men learned the technique of melting metal and also using alloy to make the metal more stronger. Technology developed and men's progress speeded up with the use of metals. So all about this how means the use of metals. Third, which village settlement expanded rapidly? Answer. Potters and craftsmen began to live close to each other in the settlement so as to manage their work more easily. This became the industrial area of that village where skilled craftsmen had their settlement and centers of production. This happened mainly in those village settlements where the raw materials was easily available and in those which were conveniently situated for trade. In such village settlement expanded rapidly. What is pivot? Answer. A pointed squares pebbles fixed at the bottom of a potter's wheel is called a pivot. When the potter's wheel is put in motion, it is balanced on this pivot and thus revolves with a great speed. Give reason. People engage in different type of work come together. Answer is expansion of village settlements resulted in increase in production. Due to increase in production, trade too expanded and there was then a need to change the old system of transport. Long distance trade, rapid transport of goods and centers of large scale production are factors that brought together people engaged in the different types of work. Thank you, student. We will learn more about settled life and urban civilization in our module 2.